I'm pretty certain that we all have this feeling, this unspoken expectation to just be something, to become someone, something bigger, something more than we are right now. No matter how far I get, I don't know, it always lingers that I have to be someone or do something great. And I'm not necessarily talking about just wanting to live comfortably or do okay for myself. I'm talking about this thing that's deep inside of me, my inner voice that keeps telling me that I'm supposed to be like special. I'm not supposed to be a random NPC that it's just an NPC. And when I don't feel like I'm living up to that, I feel stuck. I just feel hollow and I feel empty. And I don't know if you guys feel like this, but it just hits different. It really eats at me. And I really remember it as a kid. I don't necessarily know where it came from, but I just knew that I didn't want to just float through life like everyone else, or the majority of people. And I'm going to keep using the term NPC, because that's truly what it feels like. If I'm not doing anything with my life, I just feel like an NPC, some background character in a story. I don't necessarily want to be the main character, but I just don't want to be a background character. And to be honest, I feel like being remembered for something isn't a huge deal, because everyone will be forgotten one day. Like, you think about someone like Elvis, who was popping, I don't even know, like 70, 60 years ago. People are forgetting Elvis. Elvis's fans are dying out, and the new kids are not listening to Elvis. Soon he will be literally nothing, even though he was the biggest thing on earth at one point. So really don't let that voice inside of you that keeps pestering you to be something or someone take away from the now. Try and find a balance between pushing for your dreams and just enjoying what you have. And the older I get, the more I realize that wanting to be something and actually getting there are two completely different things. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. I can even picture this mindset when I was obsessed with Xbox 360 and Call of Duty back in the day. You know, the peak Xbox 360 era from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 2. And for me, it was making phase. It was making montages, whether that was editing, playing, or making graphics. It felt like everyone I knew played COD back then, but for me, it wasn't just about the game. It was the culture around it, and the clans, and just being a name that everyone knows and recognizes. Someone that shifts the community. And it sounds so crazy I'm saying this, but FaZe Clan really was everything. To me, they weren't just like gamers. In a corny sense, they were rock stars, you know? They were living such a good lifestyle off something that they loved. I wanted it so bad that I'd sit in my room for hours, trying to hit feeds or trick shots. I'd watch montages on repeat and be eager to see every new FaZe member's upload, and just telling myself, like, one day I'll be there. And again, it wasn't just for joining the team for fame or notoriety. It was about like proving to myself, and technically that means proving to everyone else that I could do it, that I could be something bigger, that I could be more than just another kid playing Xbox. But of course, it didn't happen. I mean, I was good, but I wasn't that good. And the realization kind of hurt me. I was putting a lot of time into it and not really getting the results that I wanted. You know, looking back, I tell myself it's a game, and even then I told myself, you know, it's just a game. I'm just having fun. But like deep down, it did matter. You know, I was really trying for that, and it felt like an opportunity that I missed. And I think we're sort of built to think this way. We're built to try and achieve something greater than ourselves. And in my opinion, it really starts in the school system, like early. It really starts early in the school system. School isn't set up to make you discover yourself or figure out what makes you happy. It's almost set up like a factory line. From the moment you start, it's all about working towards the final score, the one that proves your worth. I think in America it's called a GPA. In Australia it's called ATAR. You know, I sort of gave up on the good grade things kind of later into my high school year, because it's not necessarily, I sort of saw it for what it was. And yeah, if you want to do something like be a doctor or a lawyer, you need that score. But for me, that wasn't the case. So I sort of jumped out of the rat race towards the end. But regardless, you spend years stressing over grades, because those grades will determine your final score. Studying for exams, because that will determine your final score. And that final score determines if you're, quote, good enough to get into uni or college. And then from there, that uni or college decides if you're, quote, good enough to get a job, to then make money that you want to make, or to have a life that society says is, quote, successful. Like, to be honest, it seems like a never-ending loop of trying to measure up. And it seems exhausting. It is exhausting. Even just with jobs, like you're trying to work up the chain of your job, you're trying to get new ones that pay better, that respect you more. But yeah, it's just so exhausting. You're taught to believe that your entire future, your value as a person, rests on whether you can hit these numbers and achieve what, I don't know, society thinks you want to achieve. But like, the honest truth is, none of it really matters as much as they make it seem. Like, you're here on this earth alive. I don't want to get all hippie with you guys, but you're here on this earth alive, and you're only going to be alive for, in the grand scheme of things, a couple years. Your job will fade, your school grades will fade, your money will fade. What you truly have is just now. your feelings, your soul, your spirit. Like, I know people who got top marks in school and they ended up in miserable careers that they hate. Or, they study all their life to be one thing, and then at the end of their course, they're like, shit, I don't even want to do this anymore. And they've just wasted 8-10 years of their life. I also know people who barely passed school, but then they went on to live the lives that they wanted. I've said it a bunch of times and I'll say it again. Life isn't some linear path where one score or one result defines who you are. But if you're stuck in that system, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like if you don't hit a certain mark, you're falling behind. And that mindset really carries through school, work, everything. Social media, life. Like, even me shifting my focus to making beats, being a producer, I saw people blowing up like Nick Miro and all those sorts of people that really just made a career and a life for themselves. And what I thought was really cool, they made stuff that allowed people to express their feelings, and they made stuff that then people really connected to on a deeper level. That was my favorite part about producing, like getting a track back from someone and they've just let out their feelings, and like I was the vessel for that. I allowed that. Even when I did DJing, the gigs that I try to sell, barely anyone came. But one of the biggest things that I'm proud of is this one time I threw an event and barely anyone showed up, but there was just this couple there, and it just looked like they were like falling in love that night. And the fact that I was technically the vessel for that memory for them is awesome. Like, whether it was just a one night thing or they could have started a family, like I was a vessel for that, and that's so cool. That's really so cool. Like, you guys probably know, I let my producer career slip. I don't even necessarily know why. Maybe it was insecurity. Maybe I fell out of love with it. It definitely was part fear of putting myself out there and failing. But yeah, even in that sector, I still wanted to be something. And it's a stressful thing that really weighs you down, just trying to always be something, be someone. And in today's day and age, social media makes everything worse. Like, without a doubt, social media makes everything worse. It's like this constant scoreboard that you can't escape. The numbers are literally everywhere. Like, you even watching this video, there's a view count, there's a like count, there's a comment count. And at some point, you start measuring your worth based on those numbers. Like, if this video doesn't hit a particular goal, or if your post that you make doesn't hit a particular goal, it feels like you failed, like you're not good enough. And even going back to the phase stuff, I've spent so much time chasing numbers, wanting to get 100 views, 1,000 views, 100,000 views, wanting my work to blow up overnight, wanting people to see my sniper clips, wanting people to hear my beats. And it's so tiring. Like, it's so tiring. And I really just want to step back from everything. I'd love to go like a month without everything, without social media, but my job really depends on it. And all my passions revolve around it. Like, I'm so tired of comparing myself to people who are getting millions of likes on TikTok or YouTube. I'm tired of comparing people my age and how much money that they make compared to me and how I'm falling behind in that aspect. But the craziest part is, like, even when you hit certain milestones, you then move the goalposts. For instance, with social media or something, you get 1,000 views, suddenly you need to hit 10k views. And then the next thing you know, it's 100k views, and it never stops. Social media has set this unrealistic expectation that success means being massive or going viral or just getting millions of people to know your name. But the truth is, that's not real life. Most of us aren't going to hit those numbers, and that's okay. I can sit here and say that I'm comfortable with knowing that I'm not going to hit crazy numbers. And deep down, like, I know that's not what means a lot. But there still is this surface level part of my mind that does focus on the numbers. And I just really wish I could appreciate where I'm at instead of always wanting more. Because that part of me has been around my whole life. And like, don't get me started on money. Somewhere along the line, we started tying our value as people on how much we make. If you're not making six figures, if you don't have a nice car or the perfect apartment, it feels like you're not successful. Like, you're falling behind. But that is definitely not how it should be. Like, looking back when I was a kid, I cared about none of that. Like, me as a kid just cared about getting the new game, or going and playing with the homies, or worrying about the sun going down. I just wanted to enjoy the day more. I wasn't comparing myself to anyone. I wasn't worried about being someone or something. I was just me, and that was enough. So like, the older I get, the more I realize that inner voice telling me to be something or someone is a straight up lie. Like, the pressure to be something is real, but it doesn't have to debilitate you and stop you. For so long, I let it hold me back and really take time and energy away from just existing in the now and really focusing on trying to be something, trying to be someone. And that sucks. I let it convince me that I could never be perfect because I was never at where I wanted to be. And realistically, I'll never achieve what I want to achieve. So I'm always going to have that feeling. I missed heaps of opportunities before. Like, let's be real, I did. I let dreams slip because I was too scared to chase them or put myself out there. But I'm really trying to not let that happen again. I'm trying to find a healthy balance between trying to be something, trying to inspire people, and trying to just touch people's lives while still being present in my own life and not chasing numbers. I'm just going to use this like burning in me to be something in someone to achieve that. But then sort of look at it at a day-to-day basis. Like me doing this YouTube channel, it's like, obviously I want it bigger, but I'm going to look right now and be like, damn, I have so many of you guys that love my content. I have so many people that watch my videos that I appreciate. And I'm just going to focus on that, and the growth will come. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be an NPC in my own story. I don't want to look back years and wonder what if, and I definitely know that you don't want to either. So like, continue to take shots at things you want to achieve, but don't let it consume you. You are someone right now. You are something right now. In 200 years down the line, they're not going to remember you. Like, regardless of what you achieve, if you become the biggest producer, artist, whatever you're trying to do, if you become the biggest version of you in that lane, let's be real, no one's going to remember you in 200 years. I could go on this topic forever, but I'm going to pull it up here because I've completely forgot what I've said. Like, I'll continue to say I appreciate all of you, especially if you're listening to this message at the end. I finally got a new mic, so let me know how it sounds. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's better. And of course, as always, we've got all the links in the description. That's my clothing website, my clothing Insta, my personal Insta, and my streaming platforms. But yeah, it's been Once Faded. Peace.